So believe it or not, I actually sat down and watched the Eurovision Song Contest special episode of Doctor Who just to see how bad it was going to be. I heard it was bad. I heard it was exceptionally bad, actually. And I thought, well, I'll just see for myself, because I'd actually like to know just how bad television can be, just as a point of comparison. Should anything really awful in the future ever happen, at least I'll be able to say, well, how does it stack up against comfortably one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who ever made? This is called the Interstellar Song Contest. And now a lot of Americans in my audience will be unfamiliar with the real Eurovision, which is basically this annual song contest. It takes place between countries in Europe. So it's quite a tradition, actually, but I do understand that it's kind of a strange concept. But it was a big deal a few years ago, but these days it's become almost like a television pride parade with horrifically awful music. It's immensely woke, and it has been for some time. But this episode takes place in this futuristic space station, and the Doctor and his companion Belinda, they arrive by chance in the TARDIS inside this huge arena. And I'm kind of lost for words to explain just how bad, meaningless, utterly insulting to the intelligence this episode is. Doctor Who has always been campy, let's be honest. But this is just beyond all reason. Like, it's ludicrously campy. Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor is played like he's the quintessential rom-com gay best friend. You know, his dialogue is so hackneyed and lacquered with modern Gen Z phrases as well. And that has to be alienating for long-time older fans who wouldn't relate to speaking that way. So the Doctor is lacking in any of the kind of decorum that the character once had. He doesn't sound like an adult anymore. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't sound like this ancient, extremely wise and intelligent alien. He just comes across as a stereotypical campy gay guy in a movie or a rom-com. So this episode has the highest ratings of the season, incidentally. This article is from radiotimes.com. Doctor Who overnight ratings confirmed for the Interstellar Song Contest. The new episode paved the way for this season's two-part finale starting next week. And later in the article it says, now the overnight ratings have been confirmed for the Interstellar Song Contest, with the episode being watched by 2.57 million viewers. That's the overnight ratings, incidentally. So the final ratings will be higher than that again. Now, to be fair to the producers, and to give them some actual credit here, I think it was quite clever to plan a Eurovision-themed Doctor Who episode on the night of the Eurovision, because it's going to garner interest. I guess it's a clever way of... It's a bit of a gimmick, but it's a clever way of attracting eyeballs, people who are watching the Eurovision, and now there's a Eurovision-themed Doctor Who episode, so people will be curious about that, and they'll want to tune in. But not that I'm saying that a Eurovision-themed Doctor Who episode is a good idea. I'm just saying that it's one way of getting people to watch. But given how horrific this episode is, I won't be surprised if there's a commensurate collapse in ratings next week. So we shall see. So anyway, I'll give you a basic overview of the story, if you could call it that. Not much of a plot going on here, to be quite frank. Basically, the Doctor has to try to save the audience of this big space station because they've been all sucked out into space by this bad guy, this alien guy who's taken over the control room of the production studio. And somehow I'm supposed to accept the idea that all of these people frozen in space can be revived. And the Doctor he uses a confetti gun to propel him back to the station. Okay, so he fires this thing and the force of it allows him to travel back to the station. And then he remarks on how camp that was. And there's an interracial gay couple who help him save the day. And also there's a mention of the pronouns of one of the performers. And Graham Norton appears as a hologram, and the Doctor says that he met the real Graham Norton at Brighton Pride. He says he met the real Graham Norton at Brighton Pride. Because that just had to be a line of dialogue in there, didn't it? So there's also this reality TV star called Rylan, and he's an actual gay reality TV star in real life, and he's the presenter of the Interstellar Song Contest, and he's been frozen cryogenically, and that's how he's in the future, because they wake him up every year to do the Interstellar Song Contest. Yeah, this is just complete and utter brain rot, isn't it? I mean, anyway, so the episode ends with setting up the 2-part finale for the next 2 episodes, which involves the character of the Rani, which is a legacy villain from back in the day in Doctor Who. And the Rani bigenerates, much like David Tennant's 14th Doctor did, which gave us the Ncuti Gatwa separation. So the Rani bigenerates into 2. And I barely know where to start with any kind of analysis of this episode. There's, like I say, there's no real story here. There's no point to any of this. The entire episode is just completely and utterly farcical, childish, and cartoonishly stupid. Even the worst episodes, even the lowest quality episodes of something like the Peter Capaldi era, which, you know, was mostly good, but it wasn't always great. Mostly his run was watchable, at least, I think, except his last year was, you know, it was a bit up and down. But even his worst episodes look like highbrow sci-fi by comparison to this. I mean, at least the worst of the New Who era took itself relatively seriously, with some exceptions. I mean, yeah, there was that early Christopher Eccleston episode with the farting pig aliens, but yeah, look, Doctor Who's always been somewhat camp, but it could also do dark as well. And I mean, this is just, boy oh boy. Anyway, this is something else entirely. It's just not even recognizable as Doctor Who, to be honest. Yeah, there's references to the Doctor and the TARDIS and that sort of stuff, but in every other regard, it just doesn't feel like Doctor Who. I'm just struggling to find something in terms of low quality that I can compare this to. But anyway, let's just say watching this episode at 2 times speed just isn't fast enough. Sitting on your couch with your eyes closed, listening to sounds of nature while doing breathing exercises is infinitely more worth your time and beneficial than spending a moment of this overflowing septic tank trying to pass itself off as an hour of science fiction. Those are my thoughts on the Interstellar Song Contest. Thanks very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more. Hit that like button, share this video out there because it does help the channel. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.